All right, so just to start off, can you just kind of tell us about Wright State and what you had to prepare for with them and all that?
Right. Well, I think it's tough to really gauge where people are to start the season. I think people are probably, us included, a little bit ahead offensively compared to their defense. They've scored the basketball and been in the 80s, high 80s in both of their games that they've played. They have a lot of experience. They have some interchangeable pieces. They lost their center, who was just a great college player, but they return almost everybody else. And so they have some guys that can shoot it and break you down off the dribble. They have some guys that can really ISO and make plays. So it's going to be another challenge, kind of like the third style for us, which I think is really good because we're playing quality teams, and to try to get us ready, going forward with our schedule. So this is going to be a tough game. Scott Nagy is a very good coach and has had a lot of success in his career, and this will be a game for us, really just to try to. I thought we made improvements defensively, but we still make just so many mistakes that we just start off in the wrong spot. Our concentration level is just not where it needs to be. But if we can keep making steps each game, hopefully you can get to where you can defend quality people.
How are those two guards doing, kind of as your backup fours?
Who's that now?
Well, those two guards, Ethan, and I don't know if you've even used Sasha at the 4 yet, but
we have.
Are you kind of getting by there?
Yeah, it's fine. Those guys are fine. It's an easy part of the game for them to be able to do that offensively, and then defensively you just have to match up. But people are playing a lot smaller against us, so it's allowing us to be fluid from an offensive standpoint. But then defensively, they're not having the matchups are helping us actually defensively, because most of them are playing four guards themselves. So it's not where you're doing it and now you're having trouble keeping a traditional power forward off the glass or posting up or things of that nature.
Let's say you're up 2 with a minute to go and the other team is getting pretty close to having a foul or whatever, and they're going to press you. Is it an option to go to a guard kind of down the line here at the 4-2 to have an extra ball handler, decision maker out there?
Sure. Anytime somebody presses or puts you in a bind, or you just want you want to be able to move better, to be able to have that, you just got to make sure if the clock doesn't stop, are you okay defensively? A lot of times people don't understand that piece of it and say, hey, do the offensive defensive switch. You're like, hey, I understand that, but if we miss and that buzzer doesn't go off, now we got to go play defense with that crew right there. So it's just you just got to weigh the pros and the cons when you make those decisions.
Right.
When Mason comes back, are they still involved in that in some capacity?
They could be. Yeah. They could be. I wouldn't think as much. I would think he gives us an element of toughness. He gives us an element of stretching the floor, and but yeah, it's obviously he hasn't played, and then being able to become eligible in the middle of a tournament is not ideal. You don't want, like, you're going to play a game, then all of a sudden 20 hours later you're going to play another game, and then he's become eligible. But I think he'll be fine. He knows obviously what we're doing, and he knows what's going on. There is an element of guys not getting the same amount of reps in live play that I've seen through the years, that like you just think you're going to step in and then you're going to be okay. But the attention to detail is so important when you've been out. Like just making sure that you pay attention to it and do the little things to help you. You're surprised, even guys that have played a long time, when they're out for an extended period of time, they think they're just going to step right in and then just be great. That's just not the way it works.
Brian Waddell.
Yeah, he tore his ACL, so right now he's just getting some rest, and then just trying to kind of figure out here in the next week or two how he proceeds with surgery.
Yeah. How does this affect his progress and development that you wanted him to have this year?
Yeah, that's what stinks. Like he's really, since he's gotten here, has really made strides and improved. But he showed up as a good player, but he's gained more weight and gained confidence. And I think once you get into practices, you realize you belong. I think that's a hard piece for a freshman. Like, do I belong here? And I think he's able to see with his success that he's had in our practices that he does, and that he's going to be a really good player. And he was going in a great direction. And but yeah, it sets you back, but you can improve when you're not healthy, and so you can't put them together. You got to get healthy then improve. So he just has to put that on the shelf for a while and just worry about his health, and get back to 100%, and then start back up again. So it's an unfortunate thing. It is something that through the years it makes people appreciate what they have. It stinks. It's a terrible exercise, but it does make you appreciate things, kind of going forward once you get in these situations. And then, as you don't take anything for granted. And he's had some injuries in the past, nothing serious, but hopefully we get a speedy recovery and get him back 100% for the start of next year.